You open your bank app, and you already know what the screen is going to say before the numbers even load. It's like a horror movie you've seen 100 times. A balance of $17.42 and a week of life still left to pay for. For 30 days, I decided to stop living one random Tuesday away from a total financial disaster by trying a method that sounds old school, but promises to fix the one thing most of us suck at: overspending. I'm talking about cash stuffing, and I wanted to see if the psychology of physical money could actually break the cycle of scarcity mode that keeps so many of us broke. The scarcity trap. Most of us aren't failing with money because we're lazy or lack intelligence. We're failing because our brains are literally wired for survival today, not stability 20 years from now. When you're living paycheck to paycheck, your brain enters scarcity mode, which forces you to focus on immediate problems, ignore future risks, and the biggest killer, grab small comfort purchases because you're constantly stressed. The cash stuffing experiment is designed to fight this by using the most powerful weapon in finance: friction. If your money is just a digital number in a checking account, your brain treats it as available for whatever impulse hits you. It's not an emergency fund, it's a snack fund. Week 1 wasn't about saving money. It was about stopping the financial domino effect, where one unexpected bill turns into overdraft fees and high-interest credit card debt. To start the 30-day challenge, I had to find my first $100. I used the 3-category check to audit every cent I spent over the last 2 weeks. I labeled everything as must: rent, utilities, maybe, things I like but could cut, or mess, impulse buys and convenience store runs. Your wealth doesn't come from starving yourself. It comes from eliminating the maybe and the mess. I realized I was losing roughly $51 a week on takeout and random online purchases. Over the course of this experiment, that's over $200 found just by looking at the leaks. I combined this with the 48-hour pause rule. Before buying anything non-essential, I had to wait 2 full days to break the impulse loop. Week 2, the envelope psychology. This is where the cash comes in. I separated my money into physical buckets, creating a separation and friction strategy. One bucket was strictly for the do not touch emergency fund. Why cash? Because willpower isn't a strategy, but environment is. When I had to physically reach into an envelope and see the bills disappearing, it changed the math. I wasn't just saving $10 a day, I was building a behavior machine. In week 2, I tackled the biggest budget wrecker: groceries. Food decisions usually happen when you're tired, which leads to expensive convenience spending. I switched to 6 cheap staple meals, things like rice, eggs, and frozen veggies, to reduce decision fatigue. To avoid the rebellion that comes from total restriction, I allowed myself one planned treat per week. This kept me from crashing and spending $40 on a stress-induced binge.
Before we go into week 3, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss practical money tips that can help you build wealth. Week 3, building the momentum. By day 20, the goal was clear: hit a $600 buffer. Why $600? Because it's enough to handle a flat tire or a higher than expected utility bill, but small enough to be achievable, even if you feel broke. I realized cutting back only goes so far, so I started a money mission to supplement the envelopes. Whether it's asking for extra shifts or selling one thing gathering dust, like old headphones or shoes, the goal is to get that cash into the fund as fast as possible. This is the point where I felt unpanicable. It wasn't that I was rich, it was the psychological relief of knowing I could handle life without a credit card. Week 4, beyond the envelopes. As the 30 days wrapped up, I had to look at the bigger picture. Cash stuffing stops the bleeding, but it doesn't build wealth. Saving money is like storing seeds in a jar. You're protecting them, but they aren't growing. The realistic roadmap to wealth takes 5 years, not 30 days, but those 30 days are the engine. Once you have your emergency buffer of 3 to 6 months of expenses, you have to transition that safety money into growth money. If you just leave $10,000 in a savings account at 1% interest, you'll have about $12,200 after 20 years. But if you move those savings into a broad market index fund, like the S&P 500, that same money could grow to $67,000 based on historical 10% averages. The cash stuffing experiment taught me that discipline is the difference between being a spender and being an investor.
After 30 days, I didn't become a millionaire, but I did something more important. I stopped lifestyle inflation from stealing my progress. I learned that every time you get a raise or find extra cash, you should save at least half of it to prevent your brain from simply adapting to a more expensive life. Wealth doesn't come from one brilliant decision. It comes from hundreds of small decisions, like choosing to wait 48 hours before a purchase or automating a $5 a day transfer. Your move today is simple. Stop saving in the same place you spend. Open a separate account or grab an envelope and set a too small to fail goal of just $5 a day. 5 years from now is going to arrive whether you're ready or not. The only question is, will you still be scrolling? Or will you have built the momentum that changes your entire life? If this experiment helped you rethink your wallet, hit the subscribe button. Comment "Day 1 done" below and tell me the amount you're starting with. Let's make it real. Subscribe today. Your future self will thank you.